Cyril A. Dostal, known as Cy, started it, I believe in September 1973. I was not at the first meeting because we could not get a babysitter. And my son, the future novelist, I stayed home with him, and Peg went to it. But I did get to the second one. As far as I can figure, we have met at one college, 3 churches, a friend's meeting house, a bookstore, Max Bax on Coventry, and Suzanne was enormously supportive. And anybody who's on Coventry should buy a book. And this library. At least one time we met in a Mexican restaurant when the lights went out on the bookstore half of Coventry, but not on the restaurant half. We are surely the oldest public workshop in continuous meeting in Cuyahoga County, and I don't imagine there are too many others in the country that have longer history. We will have today both current members and a few original members, founders. And probably I should introduce them, for those who are here. You know me, Peg M.A. Swinyarsky, Diane Kendi, Joan Nickel, and John Gable. And even though they didn't, we are all able to stand up. The way this worked, very briefly, is that I asked poets who were involved to send 3 copies of 3 poems to a volunteer committee, and they chose 1 poem out of the 3. Each of us will only be reading 1 poem, and oversaw, with much help and assistance from Laurie, the printing. Did a wonderful job, and I wanted to thank them. Jill Lang and Fred Schraff, Marilyn Schraff, Catherine Brown, and Rob Farmer, who's being persnickety over there. I also wanted to honor Cy Dostal. People still say to me, "Oh, you're leading Cy's workshop now," and I'm pleased with that. I like that continuity. Cy was frequently crusty personality, but absolutely devoted to poetry, and kept the workshop going for, literally up until the moment of his death. And then I took over, and I've been doing it for 10 years or so. And what occurred to me is that since I knew that Leonard Trawick, who is Professor Emeritus of English at Cleveland State University, had written a wonderful poem remembering many poets who have passed, Cleveland poets who have passed, including Cy. And I thought that the best way would be to ask Leonard to read, and he has graciously agreed. So after Leonard reads his poem, we will start. I've asked each poet to introduce him or herself very briefly, and then read the poem, and then we'll go. Ray is going to start. We'll read this way, back, Zena, and across that way. So Leonard,